Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're zooming in on a massive, complex, and incredibly fast-growing market that is literally on its way to becoming one of the biggest economies, not just in Africa, but globally. We're talking about Nigeria. For medical device manufacturers, especially those looking from the outside in, the opportunities here are absolutely huge. But listen, breaking into this market takes way more than just having a great product. You've got to really understand the local rules of the game and the unique business culture. So based on our sources, we're going to break down the exact entry strategies you need. Ready? Let's open the doors to the giant of Africa.
Okay, let's dive into this expedition guidebook. We'll be walking through a quick market overview, the crucial NAFDAC registration process, local business culture, potential challenges you might face, and finally, some absolute must-know tips for success. Let's get to it.
Section 1, Market Overview, the Giant of Africa. To put things in perspective, Nigeria is home to a massive young population that has already blown past the 190 million mark. With a demographic huge, the demand for healthcare services and modern medical devices is just skyrocketing. But here's the kicker. Local manufacturing is pretty limited, which means the market is almost entirely dependent on imports. So for foreign investors and medical firms, there is a giant gap here that desperately needs filling. Now, if you're wondering what exactly they need, the highest demand falls into three main buckets. First up, diagnostic and imaging equipment. Think MRI machines, CT scanners, digital X-rays, and ultrasounds. Second, we've got primary care devices and everyday medical consumables. And third, laboratory equipment. But here is a really critical detail you shouldn't miss. While everyone loves brand new, cutting-edge tech, a lot of private clinics in Nigeria face tight budget constraints. Because of this, there's a massive market for refurbished European devices. The market is definitely price-sensitive, so offering cost-effective solutions is a huge competitive advantage. And honestly, timing is everything right now. The Nigerian government recently made a crucial move to boost the healthcare sector. They've introduced a 2-year import duty and VAT waiver on essential healthcare products and pharmaceutical raw materials. This directive is a clear signal that they are serious about strengthening their healthcare infrastructure. So if you've been on the fence, this policy right here proves why entering the market now gives you a massive strategic edge. Moving on to Section 2, NAFDAC registration, rules of engagement. Okay, so when it comes to the bureaucratic reality, there are 3 absolute non-negotiable steps for foreign manufacturers. First, you have to appoint a local agent. You literally can't do this without a trusted partner on the ground to manage the process for you. Second, you need to register your trademark with the Ministry of Industry, Trade, and Investment. And finally, you submit all your documentation through the NAPAM's portal, which is their digital platform. You really can't skip or bend these rules. Following this exact sequence is your only ticket into the market. And let me tell you, paperwork in Nigeria is no joke. The backbone of your NAFDAC approval dossier comes down to a few critical documents. You'll need evidence of business incorporation, a free sale certificate proving you can sell the product in your own country, a current good manufacturing practice report, and perhaps most importantly, a notarized declaration and power of attorney. Pay close attention to that last one. Your power of attorney usually needs to be notarized both in your home country and by the Nigerian mission. Even a tiny mistake here can lead to months of delays, so you've got to be meticulous.
All right, Section 3, business culture, navigating the local terrain.
So in standard Western corporate culture, we're totally used to strict punctuality and jumping straight to the agenda, right? Well, the Nigerian reality is a whole different ballgame. Time is much more fluid there. You might show up on the dot and still wait quite a while. That's why sending friendly meeting reminders beforehand is absolutely essential. And here's something you really need to know. The first 2 hours of a meeting might be spent just talking about your family, your health, and building a personal connection. Nigerians do business with people they know and trust. You can't just walk in and say, hey, let's sign the contract, without building that relationship first. Now, regarding communication styles, and this is a really critical heads up for foreign companies, particularly those coming from places like Turkey where business etiquette might differ. Nigerians often speak quite loudly and are highly expressive with their body language. In a heated meeting, you might actually think the other party is angry at you or trying to dominate the conversation by shouting. But no, that is literally just their natural, enthusiastic way of communicating. Your best move? Just stay calm, keep your composure, and definitely don't take all that energetic expression personally. Another huge element of the culture is respect and hierarchy. Nigerian society is deeply hierarchical. Showing profound deference to older individuals and high-ranking officials isn't just polite, it's a fundamental part of the culture. Here's a fascinating detail. Officials in government ministries will often wear their traditional local attire rather than a standard suit. However, as a foreigner, they strictly expect you to show up in formal business wear, like a sharp suit. It's viewed as a direct sign of respect toward them. Section 4. Potential challenges. Anticipating threats. Based on data, like the SWOT analysis from the Turkish Trade Ministry, it's really important for medical companies, especially Turkish firms looking to enter, to carefully assess these macro-level systemic threats. One of the biggest headaches for importers right now is the banking foreign exchange shortage. Moving money or just finding foreign currency takes a lot of effort and patience. Plus, difficulties with budget payments can seriously disrupt your cash flow. And of course, we have to talk about security. While major southern hubs like Lagos and Abuja are generally more stable, there are significant security and logistical risks in the northern regions that you absolutely must factor into your plans. Beyond the macroeconomics, there are also day-to-day operational hurdles on the ground. High import costs and pretty inefficient, slow port operations can really drag out your timelines. Then there's the issue of poor demand financing. Because patients have limited purchasing power and insurance systems are weak, paying for something like an expensive MRI is out of reach for many. On the infrastructure side, the lack of a reliable, steady power supply is a huge problem for running sensitive medical machines. And lastly, once you actually sell a device, finding spare parts and local biomedical engineers to provide after-sales maintenance is incredibly challenging. Let's wrap things up with Section 5, Success Tips, your survival kit. So, how do you actually speed things up and succeed? The absolute most crucial strategy is partnering with a trusted local agent or distributor who knows the market dynamics inside out. You're flying blind without one. Like we mentioned earlier, sending meeting reminders close to the date keeps your schedule on track. Another vital cultural nuance is providing small symbolic gifts to the facilitators helping you navigate the bureaucracy. To be clear, this isn't bribery. It's an expected cultural courtesy that shows your appreciation and smooth out business relationships. And lastly, you've got to stay highly flexible so you can adapt to frequent sudden policy changes. Oh, and I want to share a highly specific, very practical tip from the field. Business meals are super important for building that trust we talked about, but restaurant service can often be quite slow. If you have another meeting to catch, just assume your order might be delayed. Politely remind the waiters about your food and actually ask for the bill a good 10 minutes before you intend to leave. This little time management hack can literally save the rest of your daily schedule. So, as we wrap up this explainer, the real question is this. Are you ready to navigate the complexities and claim your share of Africa's giant medical market? Yes, the bureaucratic hurdles, the cultural differences, and the operational threats are very real. But remember, for those who come prepared with the right strategy, a solid local partner, and a high degree of cultural intelligence, this is a market of over 190 million people with immense growth potential. The doors are wide open. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.